Hi everyone, it's Rachel here, and welcome to part 4 of your 4-part series on how to eat whatever the fuck you want and still lose belly fat. So always remember that you should have watched the rest of the series before you watch this part. So if you haven't already watched and gone through parts 1, 2 and 3, then go back and study those 4 weeks of content first before you dive into this week's content. So this week's going to be quite a short one because alongside the recording here, you'll also receive a meal prep and meal planning cheat sheet. So that will be in PDF form as well, uploaded along with the video. And that contains even more information and even more tips and hints and cheats that you can put into place to help you to be successful with this type of approach to your nutrition. So lots and lots of information in the PDF as well. So I'll try and keep the recording a bit shorter for you this time so that you don't have too much work to do and don't feel too overwhelmed. So in today's webinar, you're going to learn about meal planning. I'll go into a bit of detail about how to do it, what works for me, what might work for you, the reason why I ask you to do it, and things like that as well. I'm going to talk to you a bit about the difference between meal planning and meal preparation and food preparation. So I'll talk you through both of them, and then you can decide which one suits you best for what your goals are and how you plan to look at your week as it pans out. I'm going to speak a little bit about how to deal with eating out and socialising, fitting alcohol into your plan, and then fitting the foods that you love the most into your plan as well. So it's a kind of all-encompassing week this week. Hopefully should tie up some loose ends and answer some unanswered questions for you as well. But as always, if you have any questions, just get in touch with me in the Facebook group and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you as quickly as I can. So again, just the usual disclaimer, if you go any further than this and you take my advice, please note that I will not be responsible for any outcome, unless of course it was a positive one. So let's move on. So the first thing about meal planning is you need to decide whether you are going to plan your meals weekly, twice weekly, or daily. And again, this really just depends on your lifestyle and what you prefer to do. I know a lot of my clients who have family, so partner and children, like to plan weekly, so plan the full week ahead of time, just because they tend to be short of time during the week and don't have time to do 2 food shops a week. Then I have other clients who prefer to do to split the week into 2, so sort of maybe Sunday to Wednesday and then Wednesday to Saturday, and break the week up like that. So 2 meal plans, 2 shops, and do it that way, and that's absolutely fine. And then I also have other clients, tends to be people who live on their own, don't really have any sort of responsibility when it comes to children or anything like that, and maybe has more time, who actually prefer to just plan their meals daily, shop daily, and do their meals that way. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. So there's no saying that one way is better than the other. It really is just a case of picking which way and which type of planning actually suits your lifestyle the best. So have a think about that. Then you're going to have to think about the fact that you're going to have to plan your meals to hit your targets. So having a look at your calorie goal, your protein goal, and then also have a think about, making sure that you're getting enough fruit and vegetables in. And remember, we spoke about how important it is to get a variety of different fruits, veg, and proteins, and planning that into your week as well. So it does sound quite complicated in the beginning, and for the first few weeks it can be quite challenging. But once you get into a routine with it, it becomes second nature. So don't stress and don't worry too much about it. But yes, it will take a bit of planning and prep in the beginning, the first few weeks. So take into account that as well, that you're not only trying to plan your meals now, you're also planning your meals to hit targets. Then what I suggest is that you you take your meal plan that you've written out and you actually put the data into MyFitnessPal. So you can even enter that, for the full week, or if you do it daily, then do it daily, or if you're doing it bi-weekly, then you put that in for the first half of the week. That's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you've hit all your targets before you go out and actually get your food shop. Also make sure that you're writing your meal plan out, including snacks, because there's nothing worse than getting home from the supermarket, you've got all your food and then you've forgotten to buy things for like emergency snacks. So make sure you've got them planned as well. And then finally write your shopping list and shop to that plan. So it sounds really, really simple and straightforward and really basic, and I hope it doesn't sound patronising because it is so basic and because I'm asking you to write a meal plan and then shop to that meal plan. But you'd be surprised how many people don't actually do this and just go into the supermarket with a completely clean slate and end up buying lots of things that they don't need or actually want. So when you do this, you'll find that it reduces the amount of waste that you have, which is always a bonus, because there's nothing worse than feeling guilty about throwing fruit and veg in the bin at the end of the week when you haven't used it. So it's really good. It's a really good thing to do to reduce waste. And it also helps to reduce your shopping list as well, your shopping bill as well, because you're not buying a whole heap of food that's going to end up in the bin. So the difference between meal prep and food prep. So meal prep is basically preparing entire meals in advance for a few days. And then food prep is actually preparing batches of different foods to create meals with over the coming few days. So if you think about this in terms of like plastic food containers, so let's say that you've actually prepared meal prep, so you've maybe got your dinners all prepared in containers for the next 2 to 3 days. So you've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner done for the next 2 or 3 days, or even just lunch and dinner, because breakfast is usually quite a quick on the go thing. Food prep, however, is possibly having in these containers like a container of chicken, a container of mixed vegetables, a container of maybe like mixed nuts, a container of chopped strawberries, or different foods in different containers, so that it's just a case of opening the fridge, getting these containers out, and then making meals out of the actual food that's prepped. So hopefully that's clear enough for you. And also, you want to be doing this sort of 2 to 3 days in advance. Most food will keep in the fridge for at least a couple of days. But anything between 4 and 5 days, generally food will keep as long as it's, as long as it's kept in the fridge at a decent temperature. And you can also reheat and microwave your meals, obviously, if you're short of time. So if you're someone that works full time, you've got family, it's busy, you find it difficult to even get 5 minutes peace to yourself, then having a couple of hours set aside, maybe on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, to get all your meals prepped for the first half of the week is so worth it. When you come in from work and everything's already done, sorted, it's just a case of grabbing it out of the fridge, maybe sticking it in the oven to heat it up, or even firing it in the microwave for a short period of time. Just make sure, obviously, it's piping hot and cooked through before you eat it. But it just saves so much time, and yeah, it can be a bit boring and monotonous, but wouldn't you rather that than coming home at 9 o'clock at night stressing out your tits because you've got no food in? So have a think about that and see how you can fit that into your lifestyle. So eating out and socialising is obviously a big part of life, and it's not something that should have to stop just because you want to lose weight or you want to change the way that your body looks, because how miserable would an existence would that be? Unless you're a bit of an introvert like me that actually likes to avoid socialising at all costs. But no, I'm just kidding, not all the time. Plan what you're going to eat ahead of time. Yeah, no brainer. So most restaurant menus are online nowadays, so you can plan that. And actually, a lot of restaurants now have their food in MyFitnessPal. So places like Jamie Oliver's or Jamie's Italian, all the kind of bigger branded places like Nando's, and loads of other restaurants actually have all their stuff in MyFitnessPal now. So it makes life loads easier. And if there's a specific place that you like to go, that you can always find their menu online and sort of at least estimate. If you're having friends over, excellent, you're in control. Again, it's just a case of planning in advance, you're in control. And if you're going to a friend's house for dinner, if you know what they're cooking, great. If not, don't stress about it too much. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be going over to your friends for dinner every single night of the week or even every, 2 or 3 times a month. It's likely going to be once a month at the most. So, you guys know how to be mindful around food and how to make the best choices. But if that is out with your control completely, and it's not a friend who you can, trust to, speak to them in advance and say, listen, this is what I'm doing. These are a list of some food suggestions that I can eat and that I enjoy eating. So, some people, I can tell my friends what I can eat. If I'm going over to my friends, they'll know what to cook. Luckily, I'm in a position where we all kind of like the same stuff. But if not, don't try not to stress around it too much, because, like I said, it's not happening every night. If you are eating out and you know you're going to be eating out at night, input that meal into MyFitnessPal first and then plan the rest of the day around it. So you might find that you have to eat a bit less during the day to make up for the meal that you're having at night. Restaurant meals tend to be quite calorific, so you might find that you're eating a bit more sparsely through the day. And that's fine. Fitting alcohol into your plan. Everybody always wants to know about alcohol. So alcohol doesn't really fit into any of the macronutrient categories. It has its own category, and that is alcohol. So protein and carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram, fat is 9 calories per gram. Alcohol comes in at 7 calories per gram. Now, obviously, that depends on what you're having the alcohol with. So, again, that's another topic altogether. So, yeah, it doesn't fit into the usual macronutrient profile. Can be enjoyed as part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle, but if fat loss is your goal, it should be well moderated. And if you know that you can control your alcohol intake and just have 1 or 2 drinks, then fine. But if you know that you're the type of person that can't just stop at 1 or 2 drinks, it may well be an idea to think about cutting it out altogether for the time being. So make sure that you stay well hydrated throughout the day. So if you know you're having a night out, you know it's going to be pretty heavy on the alcohol. It's not the be all and end all. You're not going to completely destroy your results that you've been working towards for months just by one night out. However, there are a few things that you can do that will help to keep you on track, and that is to stay well hydrated throughout the day. Plan to hit your protein target regardless, so make sure you're eating plenty of high protein meals throughout the day. Plan what drinks you're going to have and stick to it. Again, be careful here. Make sure that you're not going to get carried away. Drink plenty of water alongside alcoholic drinks and decide whether it's really that important. So is it really that important that you get absolutely wasted, or what's more important to you? Have a think about it like that. Obviously, the least calorific drinks the better, so stay away from mixing spirits with things like fruit juices and full fat sugary drinks like colas or things like that. Always see if you can choose the sugar-free version, or even things like tonic water or a good alternative soda water as well. And fitting in the foods that you love. So you can pretty much eat anything on a macronutrient plan like this. You can literally enjoy any food you like, as long as it fits into your daily targets. So just program it into MyFitnessPal. Make sure you still hit all of your targets, but be aware of trigger foods. So if there are any foods that you know set you off into like a negative frame of mind, then just avoid them altogether. But I mean, I've put there, can you eat these in moderation? Will upset your rhythm? So have a think about that. And obviously remember basic nutrition rules that we've covered before, and don't go nuts. So 80% single ingredient food, 20% to do with what you like. Obviously you wouldn't want to be eating 100% processed food, even if it does fit your macros, because we still have the nutrient side of things to consider as well. So, as always, if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask me through any really form of communication, preferably in the Facebook group or by email if it's a personal question. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Don't forget, we also have the PDF cheat sheet that goes alongside this webinar, so make sure you download that as well. It'll be in the Dropbox folder. Any questions, let me know.